Hello, it's Parkin here on a really beautiful morning here at Bristol Zoo Gardens with the sun out. This is the third of our 6 videos to get you writing for Bristol Zoo's writing competition to mark the transition to a new site. In this video, I'd like us to think about eco-poetry, and I'm thinking about that as animals in place. Okay, at the moment we've got animals, we've got the splendid gorillas who are in place here where they live at the zoo. But of course gorillas originally come from a habitat, and today I'd like us to think a bit about habitats. For me, eco-poetry means connection, and that's connection between people and animals, between animals and other animals, between animals and their habitat, and between all of us and the planet Earth, to which every single living thing is connected. So part of that is about a connection to the choices that we make as human beings and how that kind of affects the planet around us. What we're going to do is write something based on a particular animal. For me, that's going to be the gorillas here. And then I'm going to give you a model of the kind of poem you might write. And then we're going to think about the habitat for your animal and write as that habitat as well. And then I'll give you something to take away with you. So let's get started and write our first poem. So the first poem I invite you to write is one where you really think about a particular animal and how it is, what it does, how you feel about it as well. I'm going to give you a model poem. This is by Rebecca Perry. I'm just going to read it off my phone here. You can find this online and we'll put a link to it as well under the video. And it's about a wasp. And I know that some people don't like wasps, but they're really important for the ecosystem and they're fascinating little animals. And what Rebecca Perry does here is she uses this word little in front of lots of descriptors about the wasp. So I'll read it and you'll see what I mean. Wasp, little lion, little nibbler, little face dunker, little duck, little clinging cashew nut, little rummager sifting for gold, little hovercraft, little clamberer, little engine, little warrior, little armoured, little snail slime wings, little nuzzler nuzzling a neck, little alien, little feeler, little zebra, little dinosaur legs, little sycophant, little mounter, little vampire, little pollen-sucking bead, little pocket knife. And I really love the sound in Parry's poem here. It's really gorgeous the way she's arranged those. So I went and watched the gorillas and I've written my own version of that poem about the wasp, but about the gorillas. And I chose the word mighty because there is something quite mighty, I think, about the gorillas. So here's my poem. I've just called it Gorilla. And I've tried out using mighty in lots of different ways. So, gorilla, mighty chewer, mighty tender, mighty head scratcher, mighty stare, mighty rest, mighty cousin, mighty upside down, mighty watcher, mighty parent, mighty hand feet, mighty searcher cleaning for fleas, mighty grin, mighty chest drummer, mighty man-like, mighty mirror. And I realised that what I was doing, as Rebecca Perry has done as well, is you choose your word and then after it you can mix up, and that's probably going to be an adjective. After that you can use a verb, a doing word, you could use a noun, a thing word, like stare, for example, which is also a possible verb, or you can use a mix of the two. And one thing you might want to do as well is to think about a mixture of lengths of your descriptor and then to mix those up in your poem and see how you get on. I hope you have a lot of fun and you can pause me now. So we're here with the South American fur seals with lots of other people watching the fur seals who are really fascinating to watch in this quite aquatic environment, which is where the fur seals are from, of course. And having written about a specific animal, so whether that's a wasp or a gorilla as I did, or whatever you've written about, I want us to think about place or habitat. And I'm going to read you a poem from this great book. It's called Be the Change, Poems to Help You Save the World by Liz Brownlee, Matt Goodfellow and Roger Stevens. It's really great and full of lovely ideas, so do recommend it. And this one is by Matt Goodfellow. and it's called The Sea Speaks because he's writing in the voice of the sea. And the poem is about bottom trawling, and this is where nets trawl along the seabed just trying to get up at any fish and anything they can, but of course it destroys habitats. So Matt has written in the voice of the sea here, and it's got a funny refrain which is quite funny here with lots of other people around, but here we go. The sea speaks. Get off my bottom. It's crude and immoral. Your big heavy rollers are smashing up coral. Get off my bottom. You hear what I say? You kill all the fish, then throw most away. Get off my bottom. The scars are appalling. Just get off my bottom and stop bottom trawling. So it's a really fun and straightforward little poem in the voice of the sea. And what we're going to do is I'm going to go over to the gorillas and I'm going to write something around their habitat, which is hopefully between these two going to inspire you to write your own piece about your animal's habitat. So we heard Matt's poem, and I've written my own version, which is called The Rainforest Speaks rather than The Sea Speaks. And Matt's poem uses this form of A, B, C, B. So those are the rhymes. So you might want to make a rhyme cloud around your poem as well. The first line on each of his verses as well is an instruction. Okay, so I've used leave me alone, and I'm in the voice of the rainforest. And by the way, you might be able to hear some canopy dwellers up here as some humans are passing on the aerial assault course. Okay, so if you can hear them, that's what's going on. So, the rainforest speaks. Leave me alone. Get out of my trees, your gunshots echoing through my canopies. Leave me alone with your human disease. I don't want your germs on my pristine breeze. Leave me alone. My gorillas need space to roam and to rummage because this is their place. So have a go with your own setting, with your own habitat. Do a little bit of research, find out about it, find out about a couple of the big challenges facing it, and then write in its voice. You don't have to use the rhyme scheme if that feels like too much. But if you fancy a challenge, then have a go at it, okay? That'll take you a while, and it's a fun challenge if you enjoy rhyming. One more thing you can do if you want an extra challenge is to then write a dialogue, and you could do this with a friend, yeah, with a classmate. Write a dialogue between the animal and its habitat. So I would write a dialogue between the rainforest and a gorilla, okay, and they're having a conversation. You can pass the paper between you while you're doing that. So that's your last challenge, and thank you for joining me in writing today.